In this video, I'll be sharing with you a requested tutorial from my group on how to cut this stylish cut together open slit ruche dress with ruffle. If this is something you like, kindly hit on the subscribe button. To cut this dress, I'll be cutting it in form of a miniature tutorial, and I'll be using this full pattern paper that I have here as the full length of my dress. Now I'm going to place my tape and I'll mark my shoulder to bust. I'll be using 8 inches as my shoulder to bust here, and you mark your shoulder to waist. Now I'll go ahead to mark my shoulder to hip point, and after that I'll mark the full length of my dress. Now after adding the full length of your dress, add extra inches to the length of your dress. Now I'll go ahead to outline all these marks. Go ahead to place my ruler, and I'm going to draw out a straight line, and I'll label my shoulder to bust, shoulder to waistline, and I'm going to mark my shoulder to, after marking my shoulder to waistline, I'm going to add extra 7 inches to get your hip point. Now I'll now mark the full length of the dress, add extra inches just like I said to the dress. Now go ahead to mark your shoulder divided by 2. Under your shoulder measurement, you're going to add an extension, how long you want this sleeve to be. That is what you're going to mark. Now come down by 1 inch from that point, and you're going to connect this. Before connecting, you're going to mark out a basic neckline of 3 inches. Now you're going to place your ruler, connect from that your sleeve to your neckline. Now the next step is you're going to cut this as a cut together dress. You're going to place your tape at the sleeve area, and you're going to mark your sleeve opening at this point. So use whatever that is open enough for you or is okay for you. So you know this is an illustration and I'm not using the actual measurement. So here I'll mark the bust circumference divided by 4 and add my sewing allowance. Here I'll mark the waist circumference divided by 4, add my sewing allowance, then mark my hip circumference divided by 4, then I'll add ease plus sewing allowance, because if you notice on this dress, starting from the hip point, it is actually free. Now what I have on the hip, I will take it all the way down, right? And I will now go ahead to connect. Now extend my sleeve opening the more, and I'll go ahead to connect this from this point to the lower part of my pattern, and I will now connect it to the rest of this pattern. So I'm just going to go ahead to connect this. So while connecting this, you know I didn't use my actual measurement, so what I'm going to extend this all the way to the extra inches, and I will be cutting this out. So after cutting this out, this is now when we are going to alter this pattern to get whatever design we want for this dress. So I'll cut this out here, and also cut out at the shoulder. I will notch it first, right? Notch your shoulder because you're going to use it as a guide for this pattern, and then cut out the upper part and the excess I have towards the sleeve. Now open this up. So from the shoulder point here, I'll extend. Instead of connecting to the shoulder here, I will go out a bit by 2 to 4 inches. So after marking that, mark 1 inch, and then you're going to connect this. Then mark another 1 inch here, and then slope this out a bit. So you're going to chop off that area, because that part you're cutting out will now enable you join the shoulder of the front and the back together. Then go ahead to cut out the neckline, right? Then after cutting this side, I'll just cut here a little. Remember, you need this little part, that is that 1 inch or 2 inches, to join the shoulder to the back. Then after joining that 1 inch at the shoulder, you're going to leave the rest. It will now drop like an open sleeve. Go ahead to repeat the same thing at this other side, right? So this is what you have. This part will join to the back of the dress, and then your sleeve, your dress will now be open. So at this point, I'll just create like a little curve towards the ending part of this sleeve. So after cutting it out, this is what you have. So at this point, you now go ahead to create all those ruffles, and you're going to pleat it. So this side of this shoulder is the part that will fall off from your shoulder. That is the part that will fall off the shoulder, and then you just join the shoulder at the back. Then pleat this design all the way to the other side. To create this ruffle all the way to the other side of the shoulder. So now What you now do by the side, you just go ahead to pleat this up and stitch up to give you that ruffle effect by the side, right? Now if you want to now cut the back, you just fold this and add like zipper allowance on both sides, right? Or if you're using a pattern paper, you can just go ahead to slit it, which will be more of you wasting a lot of pattern. But let's say you're using a pattern paper, you just slit it and add a zipper to both sides.